when I got a quote on this from an actual character artist, they wanted to charge me about $1,000, and it was going to take probably a better part of a month. With Meshy, $20, I can use.
Awesome. Welcome to the Meshy podcast, episode 2, the podcast for AI creativity and game development. I'm your host, Xnovium, and we're also joined by co-hosts Novaray and Tara. Today's loose theme is world building. So whether you're a game developer, filmmaker, writer, 3D artist, or just a creative, or someone who loves imagining and designing fictional worlds, you should find this episode enlightening, hopefully. So the question to keep in mind is, what makes a world feel real and lived in and compelling? And where do you think AI might fit into a world building process and contribute towards that? You can listen to this podcast on YouTube and all major podcast platforms. And you're also welcome to join us as a guest or speaker live in the Meshy AI Discord. And if you are listening on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe if you find this interesting. So I'm going to start things off by introducing Mike, who is building, I guess a whole world, but also a game called World of Anthrothia. Hi, Mike.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Good, good. How are you doing?
Oh, doing good. Finally, I think I'm ready to actually do this. Haven't done a podcast in probably 10 years.
Oh, wow. You've done one before?
We used to get together, devs, and kind of share our ideas, get 10 guys together, and we'd all just kind of brainstorm,
Nice.
just throw it up
Nice.
there as a podcast.
I guess, could you start things off by just introducing yourself and telling us what World of Anthrothia is in your own words?
Okay. My name's Mike. Indie developer, I guess you could call me. I've been in the industry for about 20 plus years. I've been working in the tech side of things in the 3D world. Went on my own, self-taught in Unreal for the last 10 years. I'm creating the world of Anthrothia, and it's basically an open world sandbox RPG, community based. And the reason I did that, when I first get into the industry, I worked in a 3D community as a tech, and I got to see how people enjoyed being in a community, like just coming into the world to meet other people and socialize. But I thought I'd do another step up on that and actually make a community-based game, but throw in an RPG back. Make it a sandbox where people can build their own houses, build their own communities, farming system, uh, pets, mounts, but keep the community aspect of it there.
Okay, so what kind of so is the goal to create a game that allows people to build their own communities? Like, it sounds quite ambitious. Those sound like complex systems.
Uh, Not as complex as it would sound. In a lot of the games now, you can build your own house, you can add on to it, you can buy a property, build houses, do whatever you want with it. This just expands on that, where if somebody wanted to, let's say, start their own village, they could buy a section of unexplored map and they would officially make that area explored by opening a village, which would open it up to the other players. Now, they'd have the option to build the original 6 or 7 buildings that you would need to start your community off and take players in almost like a clan, but everybody gets a job working in the community. Everybody's helped out by the other people. Um, Farmers sell on the market, which help the people that are doing quests. You can go to the main market and buy things. Like if you go on a quest and need a certain gem that you can't get by going on quests, you just go to the market. Farmers have gotten it for you. You buy it. Farmers get money to buy stuff that the questers can get that the farmers can't. And the community builds around that.
So it's
So
kind of
from
like
what I hear, this is
connected.
it's an MMO, if I
It's going to be an open world.
but how many concurrent players are we talking?
It depends. I'm still working on whether to make it an MMO completely or to use channels and have so many players per channel.
And do you have people working on this with you?
No, I'm doing it myself.
All right.
But I have been, in my own defense, I have been doing it for 8 years. Hence why it's been taking so long.
Yeah, you sound like someone who knows that it's not trivial to make some things like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's funny. A lot of people building entire worlds, they become almost like lifelong projects. Because 8 years is a long time to be building something, but I guess not all of that time has been spent actually building the game. Like, has a lot of it been building the other things, like the lore or the story?
yeah. I originally set out. I I didn't even think of the world. I was more almost writing a book where I
Mm.
figured what kind of races do I want in this world? Okay, what's the history? And then you kind of go from there. All of a sudden, it's like, okay, here's a capital city. These people come from there, and then now you have to put everything in regions, and all of a sudden you have a continent, and then you're like, okay, well, I still haven't fit these two races in yet. Now there's another continent. So, yeah, it
Yeah,
adds up.
you build one thing and then you think, oh, now I need to add on to it. I think it can become quite sprawling, kind of. Just wondering, like, where did the original idea for this world actually come from?
Well, like I said, when I worked with this 3D company, I won't mention their names. It was an adult company. Like back then in 2000, this is 2005. There was only three main companies and that did this type of in-world communities. And that was Second Life, IMVU, and Otherverse. I think Otherverse was also known as a Red Light Center. Over in Europe, I think it was called Hidden City. But those were the three main communities online.
Mm.
And everybody eventually, after a few years, I noticed people with the same complaints. There's only so many pieces of furniture they could put in their house. Seeing the same people every day, it got boring. There was nothing new to do. So they started, like, there was a really big surge for the first 3 or 4 years, and then it just started dying off. And Second Life started adding new islands, new different platforms. They've helped themselves greatly. But I figured the one thing that people always want to do, there's city builders, there's people that love fashion, there's people who love to go farm, just build plants, see what new ideas, what new plants they can grow. Just gives them something on a daily basis to do, and then have the social aspect on top of that. So I've tested it out for about 6 different times now, where I have multiple coming in world. Nobody comes in on a spawn point. Everybody has an individual spawn point in their house. Like everybody has a small house that they start off with, which builds communities. So when you spawn, you actually spawn in your house, go out the front door, and you'll go to a street where you actually have neighbors. And your neighbors are the
So,
people that are spawning with you. And you get to know them and
mm,
become a community based that way.
mm. So the systems you're building for this game to kind of like create this community and make the world feel like a real world. So these are systems that are kind of designed to force players to interact with each other. It sounds like you said before, if somebody needs a certain quest item or a crafted item, they have to buy it from the market, or somebody has to create it in the game. Um, like other than that, how are you going to sort of get your players to interact with each other? Like, do you want it to feel like an MMO, or can people play it like a single player game?
I built, well, you could play it single player all you want. Like anything that you don't have, you could eventually find at the market. Like if you don't want to do
Mm.
the RPG, you could go to the market and it's like, okay, there's the thing I need. But the big basis that I've done for the community aspect of the game is create a card game. The whole currency in the world is based on cards. Gems that people collect that you have to take to what I call a deckard, DECKARD.
Huh.
Um, they convert the gems into cards. Those have magic power. Now, if you're a farmer, those cards could be seeds, new plants, stuff to water your gardens, or even a companion that will work for you, like an NPC that will do your gardening for you to a certain aspect while you're not online. Um, the whole idea, it's community based, is that the cards are also a playable card game. I'm going to have card tournaments where you can go randomly meet players, play a game, win a card, or there'll be local, regional, uh, continental. Like it grows. Like if you win your town championship, you can go to a regional and you win your regional championship. And then at the end of the month, there's a big tournament, which is kind of like the world boss. If somebody wins that, they get a prize that nobody else can get. You have to win the tournament to actually get that prize. So that'd be the community aspect of it, is people will actually have to search out other players to play the game. Trade cards to a point.
It almost sounds like two games in one, um,
Right.
in many ways.
I'm hoping the card game will bring the social aspect into it. And plus it gives everybody something to do. You're always collecting cards. I hate to use the reference, but it's like Magic the Gathering, where you have a set of cards that you can collect, let's say 340 in a set, but you also have the ability to play a game with those cards.
So
So
I
there's
guess,
the collector side of it, the game side of it, the competition side of it.
it sounds like you've got a pretty clear idea of what you want to build. How far through building all of this are you? And I guess like when did you you probably didn't set out to, but when did you start using AI in your workflow and how?
Originally, I had used ChatGPT to help me with storylines. I'd write a few paragraphs and I'd just ask ChatGPT to go through it, and of course get corrected numerous times. But I wrote a lot of the lore, probably the 20 chapters worth of lore, with the help of ChatGPT. And I was thinking, well, if it helped me that much with the writing, I looked around and I saw a few different companies, and I came across Meshy, and I said, I'll give it a try. I am poor at drawing characters. That's all I can say. If it's an animal or a human, I cannot draw. It's like, give me trees, architecture, anything like that, I'm good. But Stickman's about as big as I can get with a character. And I tried a few times with Meshy, and I liked like the prompting kind of came naturally to me because I'm a programmer. So I just used direct commands. I wanted to make a few adjustments on pictures, and I went over to 3D, and I was like, that's not bad. And then I took that character, of course, took it over to Blender, did a few tweaks, and I put it in my world, and she worked fine. And I was kind of stuck on Meshy after that because for me, like, for instance, you'll see later on when I take you in world to show you around, I built probably about 20 or 30 different structures for the world. Now, to build one house, okay, a couple of hours, comes out nice. But with Meshy, I can take that house and get 20 variations of it in an instant. Like 5 minutes and I've got 20 variations. And then all of a sudden I look and I go, oh, I never thought of that. And it gives me a new idea. But to draw those 20 iterations out, I mean, I'd be there all week and still not have them ready to put in game.
So other than the speed factor of using AI in your workflow for some of your storyboarding and or your story and 3D models, like what would you say the benefits of AI have been for your world building?
Ooh. Beside the speed factor, I think the best part would be that I'm getting variations that I never even thought of. Like I'll put prompts in and I'm thinking that this prompt is going to go this way. And then AI decides, no, let's try this. And then I look at that and it's like, okay, I just got an idea out of this. And then of course, I'm down another rabbit hole and I end up making 3 or 4 buildings or a character or even a pet that never even crossed my mind. And so AI is kind of giving me ideas back on my own thoughts.
And still, I think
No, I
it's
totally
very
agree.
good to start with a lot of, like, it sounds like you already had a lot of stuff. And when it gives you an idea, it's something that's probably pretty related to what you already had.
Right, but something I hadn't myself thought of yet.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the
I'm really
majority of
enjoying
it.
this story because it's this perfect mix of you having your own vision and not like someone going, "Hey, ChatGPT, make me a world," you know? And
No,
still,
exactly. Like,
I fully agree that can be very useful to be open to the hallucinations, or I guess if it's a creative thing, you could just call them ideas.
yeah, I agree. Like, people are so scared with AI right now that they're going, "Oh, somebody can just prompt an AI to make a game." But if you see those games, you can tell.
Yeah,
But if you use Meshy, like Meshy, for instance, it's a tool. Blender is a tool. Meshy AI is a tool. I'm still in command. I've got the ideas, but what I was stuck on, manifesting that vision in game, Meshy lets me explore those options quickly. And I'm using it as a tool. It isn't telling me what should be in the world. It's saying, "Hey, have you thought of this?" And I'm kind of going, "Oh God, no, I didn't." Yeah, that's a good idea. And I'm going on with it.
For any like other world builders listening, let's say world builders who haven't yet explored AI or haven't yet tried using AI within their workflows, what would you suggest, or what would you suggest they try?
I think the one mistake they make is everybody thinks that the AI is going to do all the work for them. And that's where they end up going down the wrong path. You still have to be the editor. Your core content has to be yours. I mean, if you don't really have a strong sense of what good looks like, AI will just happily give you mediocrity. I mean, Meshy works because it doesn't invent it for
Hmm. Yeah,
me, if
great
that makes
answer.
sense.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I mean, yeah, like when you can generate 20 models in 5 minutes, like really the important factor is your taste and you being able to determine which the best one is going to be for your vision and for what you're trying to create. And I think that's becoming the most important skill with using AI, just because we can all see AI can be used as a slot machine that just spits out endless content, but unless you're curating it with your own taste, why would anyone else want to see it if it's not even something you
Well,
like the look of or the feel of?
yeah, because it doesn't represent you then. It's like
Mm,
all you did was basically do what the AI told you to do. So there's
mm,
no creativity in it. I mean, or
right. The
no,
creativity comes from the human,
no
not from the
soul, I
tool.
guess. Right.
Yeah. So AI in your game, or do you think by the time your game's ready, they won't be an issue?
I'm hoping that this will die down. I've seen it so many times. When anything new comes in, it's just like everybody fights it tooth. And then a few years later, everybody's using it and they're fighting something else new that's coming into the market.
That's
There's
true.
a lot of
Yeah.
concern
For a
about,
while, it was CGI in film for a while. Um, that's the
right.
example I tend
And
to
it's like,
think of.
oh, that just
Yeah.
ruined the movie. It doesn't look real. And now everybody uses
Yeah.
it. I mean, why hire 100,000 people when you can just CGI it on? I mean, AI is a perfect example for that. I mean, like, look, Lord of the Rings, some of their battle scenes. I mean, literally 100,000 AI characters reacting to the what was going on screen. And
I think with Lord of the Rings, it works so well because they combined both real environments and real actors with limited CGI, and they did it in a way that just looked good. And I think at the end of the day, that's what many people care about most: is does it feel real? Does it put them into that? What do you call it? Does it make people feel like they're in the environment? Like, is it immersive? And I think that AI can have that effect when done well as well.
it's like,
Yeah.
I trust the player's instincts. I'm not going to try and trick anyone. I'm not going to, like, I respect the players. I'm a player as well as developer.
Mm.
Um, I'm doing the work. and AI is a tool.
Mm.
I don't know, like Blender. Blender is a tool. And there's a lot of aspects of gaming that already have AI in them, and people you don't hear them complain about it anymore. Like, I got a little angry when they first came out with new generators for the landscapes or for the forests. It's like instead of making them individually now, you can just throw it all into an AI and it just makes the landscape, throws the forest out there, all the plants, all the rocks, and you're done in 5 minutes. But
Oh, is
nobody
that like
complains about that
procedural
anymore.
generation or
Yeah, procedural
something?
generation.
Hmm.
Um,
Okay.
Nobody complains about that anymore because it's a great tool. But I don't use it myself. I do
Well,
everything
yeah.
by hand.
Yeah, I think, I mean, some people might, yeah, purists might say, well, I placed every tree in this environment and that's what makes it feel special to me. But also, yeah, if procedural generation can do the same thing or do it in a way that the player doesn't really notice, then it's kind of like, well, what's the difference to the player at that point? Um, hmm.
Right? Like
So looking,
if you do something
sorry, go ahead.
right, a player won't compliment you on it. But if you do something wrong, there'll be 20 comments in the section every second on your reports. I mean, it's like,
I think there's also the question of how important is the tree placement versus other things, because it might be that the dev placed them via some procedural tool, but that meant they had time to make something else that they are good at, you know? Like
fair
I
enough.
think as an indie dev especially, you might have to play to your strength and put time into the things that you want to shine the most or something like that.
That's very true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like if you want your buildings to stand out or people to go, wow, that was a really cool looking city. It's like where your trees are in that city doesn't really matter. You want them to remember the buildings, the insides, like, or the way the people were dressed, or where a tree or a bush was. You know, if they're not there, people will go, "Oh, that's pretty barren." But with them there, they just walk by. I mean, how many people stop and zoom in on a tree to see how great the graphics are on this?
Actually, yeah, I think that touches on an interesting point because a lot of people kind of struggle to focus on the highest impact thing they can do with their time when building a game. And what I mean by that is, like people will criticize, well, oh, if you used AI to build the building in your game, you didn't design the angle of the roof, or like all of these very sort of small details where the AI kind of just imagined a solution for you, but if you had designed those things and you had put the time into it, is that actually like the highest impact way you could spend your time building a game? And I think really the answer is no. In most cases, unless like the architecture of your game is like the selling factor of it, it's probably going to be a better use of your time to use AI on the things they are going to notice, and then for the things in between, just use some kind of combination for both,
Right? Like,
or of both
what do
rather.
they say? The oldest thing in the world that keeps a player interested is the lore and the game mechanics.
Hmm.
Like, like
Well, and the
if
core
it
gameplay
has a
gameplay
great
loop.
story, like a storyline. If it has a great storyline, I've seen games with bad graphics, but they have a great storyline do well. And other ones that have the best graphics in the world, but no storyline, and they never get off the ground.
Yeah, yeah, there's a resurgence of really nostalgic old games at the moment. Have you guys heard of Dreadmist? It just released not too long ago, and it has like terrible graphics. It's like 90s graphics. Uh, I, for some reason, like thousands of people are playing it, just because it's kind of like scratches this old MMO itch that people have.
I can see that. The storylines on some of the older games were just bloody awesome.
Mm.
I mean, like look at the
What?
Fable series.
Mm.
I mean,
That's a
there's so much
favorite.
lore. Yeah, definitely Final Fantasy, Fable, Baldur's Gate. Like, I love the older stories.
Definitely. I want to open it up to. Does anyone listening have any questions? Feel free to type them in the chat. Otherwise, we'll probably move on to a group discussion segment, um, where I want to talk a little bit about world building itself. And again, touching on that question at the start, what is it that makes a world feel real, lived in, and compelling? And where does AI fit into that process? So I'll invite a few people to speak. Feel free to share your thoughts on that if you want. Um, okay, I'm just going to invite everyone. Try not to talk over each other, but let's really get into this subject. There we go. We now have like 10 speakers. Uh, awesome. So yeah, what do you guys think? Like, is anyone here into world building, and how are you using AI? Uh,
Yeah, the
Trees. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, well, let's talk about world building. Are you use? Are you? I mean, you're building a world with your game, right?
yeah.
How would you say AI has contributed towards that process, other than
Well,
just providing models?
well, when you build a world and you go outside, you see a lot of different shops. Like you see a coffee shop, a laundry shop. You see a bunch of different buildings, and it's really hard to keep track of all these things on your own. And AI can help you make lists of things that you really need and help you fill out the empty spaces with like the park benches and like, fountains or and just kind of help you fill out all those empty spaces that you didn't really kind of come up with yourselves because you're kind of just focused on like the bank, but you're not really kind of paying attention to the things like the parking meters and like, maybe some billboards. But what about the
I don't know, like just like basic AI, like generic sort of slop.
well, I would say that a lot of those ideas should have came from you originally, but with AI, obviously it opens your eyes a bit once you kind of start to feel and see your world. Oh, okay, that's kind of cool. AI starts to suggest things to you. And you kind of just start working with it once it starts to know about your world. Like you should see my chat GPT. It like knows everything about Hellion.
Yeah, that's true. You can give it all the context of your world, and then it can start making connections that you might not have made, or giving you ideas to fill gaps. Although I
And
feel like
then
AI is gonna create it's gonna create that like sprawl where you just keep building and building and building like the lore of your world and never actually build it in the game. I feel like that's a risk that AI is gonna encourage because it really can speed it up so much. Yeah, I know a few people building worlds, and they have this problem where for them, it's like, yeah, as soon as they had like a magic system, and then they're like, okay, we need magic users then, and then they're like, okay, now we need like guilds for these users. Now we need the history of those guilds. Now we need a timeline for like they grows. And I wonder if there's a way to use AI to like focus down a huge project to actually make sure.
it really does give you time to go work on other things like your music. Music is really important. Sound effects, those are just as important as your models.
Yeah,
Also got to
haven't even
work about your
started on my sound yet.
sequences. Pardon me?
I haven't even started on my background music yet.
Oh yeah, that's
Mm.
a whole nother thing.
Would you use AI for your music, Mike?
Yeah.
So I
Mm.
would try to see if I can actually make it with an AI.
Yeah, so no AI is about to carry you.
Yeah, Suno's not bad. I think
I agree.
it makes things that sound good, but it is quite hard still to get exactly what you want. Although, if you do have some sound editing skills, you can pull the stems out, and I guess you can work on it and improve it. I know Tara does a bit of that.
Yeah, I think you have to be kind of careful. What I realize more and more, because I listen to a lot of Suno music, or I don't really listen to the whole track, but I zap around through a lot of Suno music online because I want to see what people make. And one thing that I perceive as a real problem is that I frequently come across something that sounds pretty much like the stuff I make and the stuff that I'm proud of, and thought, hey, this is great. And so I would be a bit worried if I made the soundtrack for a game. I would take great care to make the inputs to make sure that it's unique, because I don't think you want to listen to the soundtrack of another game and it feels like it's the same band.
Yeah, if you use AI long enough, any tool long enough, I think you start seeing repetition. so it is still limited, I guess, by the training data. Although I have quite hopes for Suno 6. I hope that they allow people to, or like, I hope instead of just increasing quality, it's also more, it also offers more variety. Because I think once AI reaches the point where quality is no longer an issue, it will be like the next level after that is like, well, how can it actually create something that's totally original and unique? And I think that's going to be an actually a harder challenge to solve than the quality issue for most
Yeah,
AI
I hope,
tools.
and I too hope that that'll change once that's once we have like a plateau of quality.
Yeah. Well, actually, is the incentive there though? Because what if the average person just wants to listen to something that sounds good and normal and sounds like all the other music they already listen to? Like, I wonder if there will be much incentive to even create that functionality of creating something original. Because I think most people are using Suno to just create like like audio, like tracks that are just sort of like top 40, popular pop music or singing. So yeah, if you try to if you try to use it at the moment to create some kind of like weird fusion of instrumental music, it really struggles. Yeah, it's a bit of a, I don't know. I don't want to say disappointing, but I'm hopeful for the future there.
Yeah, the incentive, that's a big thing because with the users as well, like most people who use Midjourney, I think they want to get something beautiful out of it, no matter what they type. And Midjourney has gotten really good at that. But yeah,
Beautiful
it brings
stuff.
with it that same problem where everything kind of looks the same. And if you have a specific idea, it kind of gets a bit harder to actually realize that if it's not very mainstream.
Mm. So yeah, I guess like so open question for everyone, like how do you balance using AI but also creating a cohesive and we can use world building examples if you have any.
I think the more you
Your
have,
ideas
the
are
better it is to
your
fill out.
original.
So polite.
And you've got original ideas there, then the AI is just going to accent on them. So you're not telling the AI to make something bland. This is my idea. It's new. I want to try it. See what you can do with it. And so no matter what it pumps out, you're going to stay with your original idea. So as long as your base is you being the controller, as long as your ideas are original, so everything else should be.
And
Hopefully everything else falls into place.
Right.
you said something about using AI for some things and using old techniques for, other things, right, Axie?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that works. But how do you kind of figure that out? Well, obviously through trial and error. If something didn't look good with AI, can you fix it? And if not, well, maybe you should consider a manual method, and whatever looks the best is probably what you should do, as long as it doesn't take a year to do it. That's what I think, anyways. I mean, I would spend a couple days on something max if it's important. I wouldn't want to spend more than an hour trying to fix a model, though. But I
Yeah, well,
would
also
want to make it look
spend your
good.
time. Yeah, spend your time doing what you enjoy as well. Like, which processes in world building do you enjoy the most? If it's coming up with all this lore, and then maybe if you love the aspect of just writing the lore down, then maybe you shouldn't use AI for that. But if you love creating 3D models by hand, then do that. Like, do that yourself. But maybe there's parts of whatever you're trying to build, like whatever the project is, that you would rather speed up, or it's parts you don't really enjoy. And I think AI really empowers people to focus their energy and their efforts on what they enjoy most as well.
And another thing about that, have you ever like worked on something for like a month and like you're proud of it, but then AI just kind of does it in like an hour, like in a minute, and you kind of feel like you wasted your time?
Definitely
I don't think
been
it's
there.
happened yet, but yeah, I can see that happening for a lot of people. I know like a lot of traditional artists who are new to drawing by hand. Like young student artists or hobbyists. I know they feel very upset to see AI creating like commissioned artworks that I guess like at a glance just look better than what they're creating. But yeah, I mean, there'll still always be a market for that. I think. Um, So, okay, on the subject of world building and world of Anthrothia, did anyone else have any questions for Mike about his project?
Yeah, I did. Are you planning on like looking at like some things are only obtainable by combat? Can players switch between farming and combat, or are they locked in one scenario?
That'd be the advantage. You're not locked into anything you want. I mean, you have the choice of doing one and or everything. Like if farming isn't your thing, then you can get those things from the market as long as farmers are putting them up. Like that's where the community will come in. Everybody will be dependent on the other players. But you can do everything, or you can just come in and just enjoy yourself doing what you're doing. Like follow, there will be a quest line for all the genres. Like if you're a farmer, there's quests to complete. You're an RPGer, quests to complete. Building a village, there's things you have to do, and as people come in, you'll finish quests, and but you got to help each other out, either with products or just maybe say, okay, well, that farmer has 3 or 4 quests I don't have.
Something about
Maybe
that
I'll do them. Pardon?
all over the place. I was gonna say, if you do host your game on like Steam, there is the achievement system, which I think is really cool because that's one way you could just add content and then Steam has trading cards, achievements, and you could do all these things yourselves on your own game, on your own indie game, which is kind of cool. And it makes players just,
Right.
okay, I guess I'll go farm. I'll go make my farm, I guess, for that card. You know what I mean? But I know you said you were making
Right.
a card game.
There will be some cards that are the currency, and then other cards that are spells, of course. But I wanted something collectible.
Do
I
you
don't
have the
want
rules?
anything in my um. I don't want anything in my game to be pay as you go or pay to play. If you want something that looks really cool, hey, that jacket, I want it. You know, it's on for 99 cents. Cool, I'll take it. But it's not going to help you in the game any. The only things that could help you will be like I'll make little various card packs so people can either quest to get some of the card packs or they can buy them if they haven't got, there's a lot of people that work, they haven't got 20 hours to go on a little quest just for some cards, but they want to play the card game. So they go buy a few decks, they can start playing. It's like a few booster packs. But I want to make it that nobody can pump a large amount of money into the game and just win ahead of everybody else. There is no actual winning. There'll be prestige as you go up at the ranks of the card playing, let's say, or as you gain notoriety for finishing quests, you'll have specialized tags over your heads. But there is no actual winning the game. Not yet, anyway. That's for the maybe a future expansion.
So it's not too competitive. Is your plan to sell the game on Steam?
I think pretty hard not to these days.
Okay. Does it have a Steam page right now? Not yet.
I want to do I have plans for a Kickstarter, and then the Kickstarters to help me get a team so I can make things a little nicer.
Yeah, it's too bad you need a mailing address for Kickstarter.
Oh, really? Do
Is
you?
it?
What?
I mean,
I,
do you
I've
not have
been
a mailing
moving
address?
I've moved like
Oh.
4 or 5 times this year, and I haven't had a stable mailing address for like a few years, so I can't set up my Kickstarter.
Do people, I mean,
I never
Kickstarter,
knew
do
that.
people still actually fund games with that? Like, I've just heard about all these controversies. Like, is that still a thing people do?
No one has
yeah,
ever told me to go to Kickstarter.
Okay.
They
Could somebody tell
board
me
games have been
what
doing
is
really well.
Kickstarter?
Kickstarter is something where you kind of like pitch your idea and then you ask for like money. It's like Dragon's Den, and then they donate money to your thing, and then you offer them rewards. And if you get your goal, they expect something of you. But people like Star Citizen and so many other games, they've scammed so much money from people that they just kind of killed the community. And from what it looks like to me, you know how 3D AI is getting really good, but you see all these like these 2D games and all these like 16-bit games they kind of all like look like distractions, and then like in 10 years, oh, look what we've been hiding, all these crazy 3D games. And I don't know, it kind of looks like that to me. Like they're kind of like misleading you into thinking 2D is the way, but low key, they got their own AI and that they're doing their own thing, and they're probably making what's that really popular game there? It was made by Bethesda, the recent one, Cyberpunk. Like
Oh,
Cyberpunk,
Cyberpunk.
like yeah, but they're keeping it a secret. They won't tell you, and they're going to pretend that, oh, we made this in 3 years, but low key, they've been working on it for like the past 15 years. And they're just going to say,
There
oh,
is
AI did it.
Yeah, there's a problem with Kickstarter. Just going back to Kickstarter, it tends to encourage people to overpromise. So they will create like a marketing campaign for a game they're imagining, but then they fail to deliver it. Basically, it's people donate all this
Yeah.
money for a product that never gets created.
And
So
that has really
there's a
discouraged a lot of investors. It really
yeah,
has.
that's why I'm
On
wondering, like,
Kickstarter now,
is this still
if you're
worth
not if you're not
it?
ready and don't know what you're talking about when you get over to Kickstarter, they will tear you to shreds. Like,
You need a
you
plan.
will
You need a
not
really
get that.
clear plan because
Yeah.
yeah, if you're just there to sell dreams, I think people are not going to donate. Um, although
They
see
don't. They
that
know.
they kind of yeah, when you're building a giant world though, like are you? That's another question I have for you. Are you worried that it's going to be too big a project? Because you mentioned you're planning to get a team to try and actually drive this forward. Do you need a team to finish it, or like when will this project be
When I get
finished?
it to the actual world stage, I need a team. Um,
However, the
go
Unreal,
ahead.
what engine are you using?
Unreal.
Okay, well, there is a limit to Unreal, and there's going to be a limit to your performance and how big your world can be, and you're going to have to build within that limit. So it's not really unrealistic, but what you want might not be what Unreal can do, which kind of sucks.
I I got the best idea from a game called Wizard 101. I don't know if anybody's played that.
I know what it
See
They
it
is.
have
on Steam.
they have an entire world, but just in levels. Like if you go into another section of the continent, it flips. It's gone to another level. So they've built a world. Like let's say with Unreal Engine, I just have 20 levels to it. And the advantage of that is when the the game itself doesn't have to open any of those levels until you're at it. So you're always running fast. Your FPS is great. It's not downloading continually until you actually go through the gate, open up that other section of the world. I actually use that basis on my housing as well. A lot of people
Well,
where you build a house, it's an open door, all the furniture and all that's there. It's like, I don't want the game having to download all this.
Uh, are you
Wizard
using
But
Word Partition?
yes,
Cool.
Wizard 101 was originally a browser-based game, though. So
yes. But they've done so well. I heard somebody comment, Wizard 101 is the best game that nobody's ever heard. But they have,
It's an old game.
it's all
Like, it's
right.
been around a
yeah,
long time.
they still have 5,000 daily players. I mean,
Wow, yeah.
they're doing great.
And is Wizard 101, is that a card game or a turn-based, right?
Turn-based Final Fantasy.
Hmm, interesting. Cool. I think what we'll
Want to
do
see
is
marketing campaigns? Go to
we'll
them.
leave the audio only section of the podcast here. So for people listening to audio only, the full Hangout episode with screen shared video is going to be available on YouTube. And I hope to see you next episode if you're leaving it there. But yeah, perhaps Mike, do you want to screen share your game and show us just show us what you want really with it?
Yeah. I had a little walkthrough plan for you. So I wanted to show a
Perfect.
section that I was using before I started using Meshy and then go into the Meshy area. And you'll see the difference, but it's not really that much. So
There's a
get
Meshy
enough room.
area. Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, I just distinctly made just one area that I'm working on in Meshy. Hopefully that's not lagging.
No, looks good. I can tell the trees aren't Meshy.
I have started working on the pet system
Oh wow,
area around.
are they Meshy models?
No, I had these in my library beforehand, but I am going to make Meshy models based on that. I just wanted to give you the scope of how everything looks.
Hmm.
But you can see I add, even when I do the the landscape, I go over the landscape and literally just give it little bumps and the feeling of realism. I'll take an hour and just go over and put a bump here, a bump there, just so everything's not flat. It gives feeling. This is actually a fishing area for those people that like to fish.
Do you use for those bumps the erosion tool?
On hills like this, I'll do erosion.
Mhm.
But on the land, I put my brush down to about 110, 120, and then I'll do a little just sculpting along the sides. I have to get over here. And you can see the fish are all in the pond already. That was the part that I was working on the last week or so to make sure my fishing game aspect of it was all right. This world is basically the demo, so people can come in and see what I've got.
Can you catch a fish for us?
No, not yet. I haven't got that in. I wanted to make sure that I programmed the fish. You know how hard it is to keep them in a pond? It is very hard.
Yeah.
Like
They try to
the
fly out of the pond, do they?
yeah, they do.
Oh wow.
You should try a stylized water with outlines around the edges, like the fake waves.
I do have that over by my harbor.
Oh, do you?
I can get over it. Yes. Now here we're getting into Meshy area. These are the Meshy buildings.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, it looks surprisingly good for a Meshy building. I think that's
Mhm.
another thing Meshy does tend to struggle on, and often people will build their buildings in segmented parts instead of one big model, just to increase the quality. But these look pretty good.
These single model. Yeah.
Wow.
Edited
I
in
went.
So
Blender,
you
I
won't be able
suppose?
to go inside.
Well, see, that's what I loved about Meshy. I hadn't planned on having. You could go inside anyway. Everything like if you go to a door in my game, you're going to go to another level where that room is.
Yeah, with a portal.
Yes. So I don't care that the building's just one mesh. All I do is throw up a portal here in the front, and you go on the inside of the building, and that way nothing
Are you?
has to be loaded when you load the game.
I mean, you could
Are you,
still get in there, but it's hard work. You got to boolean and then carve out the walls, and it's a lot of pain. But you could.
are you going to
Here's
use
my wish
Meshy for
room.
the interiors? Like, are you going to build housing interiors or finish it with Meshy? Is that the plan?
Definitely going to be a lot of items in Meshy because I want to make specific items for pickup, and I'm actually going to be using it for all my icons as well for my user
Wow.
interface. But here's just an
What are these
example of what's
mushrooms?
coming. My wish rooms, like that's a crop
They're
that
cute.
people could plant when they grow up. I was trying different stages here, and this is like the full grown stage. Um, it grants you it. It will have 10 random items that you can get, and when you plant it, it will randomly grow up with 3 of those 10. So you might get an item that you want, you might not, and then I'll have a small percentage for like a special item, like a mount or a pet, where it might be one every 100 that you plant, you might get one, that kind of thing.
I like those.
That's what my little wish rooms, but that's totally Meshy. Um,
Will you be
you get
able
through
to
this
take them
entire
off the
neighborhood
ground?
now. All these buildings in this entire neighborhood are Meshy.
And did you have to do a lot of like fixing them up in Blender? Can you talk a bit about what that
I
process
haven't
is like?
touched any of these buildings
Ooh.
in Blender.
Sorry, the only thing I would do with those in Blender is I would take 2, 3, or 4 of those buildings and bake them down onto one texture. You probably won't even lose any of the quality, especially if you
Probably
do it
not.
on a 1024, 2048. Yeah.
But this the style that's coming out of I will specify, I did a lot of text to image. And then I picked one image that I liked and then text to image on that one until I got exactly what I want. And if you're persistent enough, you can get it. I mean, these
Did you
buildings.
use so you used AI to modify the image until you were happy and then generated, or is that right? Or you just used it to generate many options and then picked the one that fit?
Yeah, like I would take my original building idea, and it was one of the buildings that I have here in the town. I started with that, and I said, okay, I want them blue thatch, and then it was viewed out 4, and I said, okay, that's kind of what I want. I took that picture and then put some more prompts in there. It's like I want a brick base, I want shutter windows, I wanted to have a round archway. And it's like it took about probably 10 times to start getting the buildings to all the point where they were coming out like this. But then once I started getting some different variations on it, that's where it came up with ideas. It's like, oh, a round tower on a 1-story house. Well, that looks cool. And it actually started coming up with different styles of houses, especially on the brown ones here now. These are all iterations of the same house, but it would change the window on the front door. Like here's the same.
Yeah, that happened before. Yeah, that was going on since Meshy 4 and the texturing. It would only do one side properly and they would all be different.
Right. But for me, this actually worked out because every different one is an actual different house. I mean, like this brown one here and this blue one actually were the same house at one time.
Are you using Meshy for the characters or pets or animals or any examples?
I can show the characters if I can get it over here. Escape here for a second.
Mushrooms. I like that.
While you're pulling that up, I want to kind of ask a quick question. You brought up something earlier. I didn't catch who said it, but you asked the question if we're taking Meshy objects into Blender or something else to make edits to them, or to clean them up, or to do anything else. And some people had said maybe some texture edits, maybe something else. But I'd be curious to know, why is that something you are exploring from a Meshy standpoint? Is maybe a cleanup operation?
Maybe I can make it. Maybe I can tell you about this point because Meshy have you can have huge detail on big mesh with thousands and thousands of polygon. Then most of the time I'm baking the assets to get a low poly and bake the texture from the high to the low. So we keep the quality and we still have a low poly count, which is very important in the game. So most of the time I use this. I think we all should.
Yeah, it's really hard to get anything bigger than a tree.
Your question? I wonder as well, Tara, what kind of cleanup do you do on Blender for Meshy models?
Who, me? I don't do Blender.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
I'm here because I know nothing about 3D modeling or visual arts in general. I'm just a programmer, man.
Nice. Well, actually, what about Hammerhead? Because I know Hammerhead does characters with Meshy. Like, do you do any cleanup for your Meshy models at the moment, or?
I have 2 sets of where I separate my character models into 2 different groups. I have what I call the bullet sponges, which are basically NPCs that are just there to kind of fill out the area and serve as kind of like an obstacle. Like if you accidentally kill one of these NPCs, the consequence is that you lose reputation, and if you kill enough of them, you will lose enough reputation to turn an entire faction against you. Then I have what are typically referred to as the hero assets or the hero characters, which are typically hand modeled, but I've got a couple, and I can actually show an example. I have a couple that I'm going to be working on over the next few months to get them put into a state where they are fully usable and have very robust rigs that allow them to have or support a full suite of animations.
Okay, so you're gonna manually rig those ones, and are you gonna do any texture edits or?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll be bringing the one model. I can share my screen if need be.
Oh,
You go ahead.
yeah, I think this is something we should do. We should almost do like an episode on it. Like, what can you do to your Meshy models after they're generated to improve them? I think this is something we probably need to cover one day because there's a lot. Like, you can really take them to the next level with a bit of manual work, and it doesn't have to be a huge process.
This
I would like
is
that.
kind of what the
Blender and the rigging, I need work on. I will admit that.
and this is a regeneration I was trying to use Nano Banana on, and eventually I moved into trying to get photorealistic quality out of this. And this has since moved into getting a actual mesh out of here with Meshy. And I think it's might be
Holy.
this one.
You've been busy.
No,
Yeah,
his
you really
sideboard
want
was like
this.
mine
Remind me not
30
to get in
times
your
on the
way.
same thing.
This has been I've been working on this since 2015, and I will admit I'm probably on the verge of obsession. But
I love it.
All the
been
best creatives are. You got to be a little
right.
obsessed to actually get something finished.
Yeah, pretty much. You got to be a little crazy. So I've
Yes.
been trying to get the best option. I think this is the one that I ended up moving forward with, or one of them, because I had downloaded a couple of them, and I figured I'll pull them into Blender, I'll cut them to pieces, and then use Boolean modeling to mash them together and retopo over top of that after I'm done.
I was going to
sculpting.
say you segmented that. Did you do what? About 6 pieces?
Probably, I'd probably get like maybe lower legs, upper legs, torso, arms, and then maybe the head.
Oh, so you might even 9.
And
Yeah, but then
And-
after that, just saying, if you were to do something modular like that, you would have all those empty spaces where, those body parts and limbs originally were, and you would have to texture paint and clean up those limbs and make them stubs, things like that, right?
Yep. So what I will eventually do is move this into Blender, get a model that's pretty close to the base mesh that I want, and then I will sculpt on top of that, bake it down to, or retopo it down to a lower poly version, take both of those into Substance Painter, bake the high poly onto the low poly, and then hand paint all of the texture on top of that. When I quoted this, or when I got a quote on this from an actual character artist, they wanted to charge me about $1,000, and it was going to take probably a better part of a month. With Meshy, $20. I can use my own tool set. I can basically, I have to learn some new things, and I think this is something that a lot of people don't quite, especially people who are like on the AI hater side. I've learned more. I've honestly learned more about coding and programming by using a tool like Copilot than I would have been able to learn on my own. Because I don't have, I don't work at Microsoft. It's not like I get to sit around and talk about code stuff with people all day.
Would you
And I
would
definitely
you
don't.
say that would you say, like, I'm a coder as well, and I just found knowing code and how code works really helps with the prompts.
I would agree with that,
Yeah,
because there
me
is
too.
kind of a logical process to it.
Right.
Yeah.
And having
It's
an
also a bit like
understanding of that logical process.
I'm not quite sure it will help you to have a really good understanding of the code because the LLM make an average generation of what it was trained on, and most of the time the LLM have been trained on the mid code on GitHub, and you'll have really bad habits. I mean,
Well, I guess
even if
where I've found learning is like GitHub Copilot will actually explain to you why it makes certain choices. And of course, like any other AI, it still makes mistakes. But there were
Yeah.
things because I didn't grow up in a computer environment like
I
when
mean,
I
I've been
was
working. I've been a programmer for like 20 years, and I'm using anti-gravity to help me mostly on small tools on so. And in any case, the code generated will be boilerplate, and will have some issue you may not see right now, but I think you learn the all the way. Yeah, the
But
one
who
way.
has time for that though? Because if you
You
can
can
learn a bit while building a game, isn't
you
that the
can,
goal? Like that sounds way better than just learning coding.
yeah,
So,
of
I,
course.
personally,
I would
Yeah,
not advise anyone to learn coding like from at a beginner. Like I would never advise that right now because coding and is changing so quickly with vibe coding. Like if 3 or 4 years from now, you might find vibe coding is putting out like quite high quality code. And if you can learn how to just vibe code effectively and you're actually solving problems, I feel like that's a better skill to develop than just learning code the old fashioned way.
I guess where I'm getting
I
at
would
is like
like.
because I did grow like when I was growing up, I grew up in a farming community, so like nobody learned how to code. Like it just wasn't a thing
Mm.
that you did.
yeah.
So I didn't start learning to code until I was almost 25, 26 years old, which was like 10, 15 years ago. So for me, I'm still learning things about coding that I mean, I didn't know because I just didn't have the background in coding, and I only know C# and a little bit of Python. So, because like I said, I grew up in a farming community. The most computer thing we had was, I mean, in the 90s we had a family computer that was from the 1970s, and you had to you had to basically boot it up with DOS and manually load your operating system from the beginning on
I
what
used
was
to.
it, a
I
freaking
used
five
to.
and a half inch floppy disk. So
I'm not telling you that is it's a good tool. It's a powerful tool. I mean, uh, it's really interesting, but the scope of making a huge, a full game uh, with a large code base, you cannot use uh, AI agent. You have to know how making a game somehow, and
You have to know some
you
architectures, I think, is the thing
architecture. Yeah,
that AI doesn't
definitively.
do yet.
Yeah,
now, when
I
it
think
comes
you
to
can.
architecture,
and
that stuff I
LLM,
Kind of.
do myself.
the LLM won't tell you how to make architecture because he can't. He's just
Well, if you know what to ask, it'll tell you, and you can.
yeah,
That's where
yeah.
I agree with Hammerhead. Like I've been a coder for a long
I
time, and
agree.
I've learned online, like talking to people too, but I'm mostly self-taught. And I think, of course, there's some stuff that you best learn from a pro, but there's not always a pro around to teach you. And if they
Yeah,
are, then still your way of asking questions to them will be very different from your way of talking to an LLM, where you know it has infinite time and patience for you. And you can always, of course, go and Google stuff, and you probably should in many cases because, yes, it makes mistakes. But I agree that it is a huge help in learning. Even
yeah.
I was pretty experienced when I started with AI, but still there's some things where I just needed to talk to it for like 2 hours, and then it clicked and I got why people do it this way or something like that. And I think it's really it's difficult to really compare these two things, and there's no reason to
Yeah, they're
discard
different
one of
skills.
them.
They're different
Yeah.
skills. I feel
I
like.
agree. I agree. Totally. But just you cannot just use only AI. You have to learn a little yourself.
Yeah,
the goal. I
and
think for me,
also
the goal is to
community is
learn. Sir?
community is invaluable in anything, I guess. Humans to talk to and who do similar stuff. That's I think probably the best, at least the most enjoyable way to learn anything.
Yeah, learning from other people is always very efficient because they will have found time saving steps and little tricks that work that you won't find online or you won't find even asking AI. So sometimes
If you want to have more in-depth meetings like this where we're having the podcasts, instead of just the icons of people who are speaking, like, have you thought of any live ones where we're all on camera talking? It makes it a lot more
oh
interesting for viewership.
yeah, it would be much more interesting to watch. I'm a little camera shy. What about you guys? Would you do that if I was on camera? Would you be on camera?
I will get embarrassed with you if you want.
Right. I
I'm
mean, if
more,
we're
I
all going to
consider
reach
it.
off a cliff, I will.
I'm more, I'm more embarrassed by my English. by the camera isn't a big issue compared to.
Or
What?
casual meeting anytime, but for being online, I don't know. I think
Yeah, you're gonna be published
it would
online.
take
Is the
so
thing.
much more energy just to show off.
Meshy
Definitely.
avatar. Maybe we could
Actually,
use
I
Meshy
brought that
avatar.
up to my girlfriend. I was telling her, and
Wait,
it's like,
what?
if we're going to go out with a Meshy AI theme, why don't we all have Meshy AI avatars? And we'd all be.
I mean, we can.
What about like VTuber yeah, characters or something? I'm sure there's
that's
something we
good.
could
Oh, damn, let's do it. I'm
That
done with
doesn't
that.
sound
Let's
bad.
make a VTuber for every one of
I'll
us.
go with that.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
Do a Meshy
Well, I
VTuber.
better
Like
step
actually
to
that's
do.
something yeah, that's something I was planning to look into because there was like a Meshy collab with Sony that I was working on. I'm not sure yet if it's going to go anywhere, but it was with their Makopi platform, which is for like VR avatars. And I was thinking of making some kind of VTuber character with it, but it's pretty delayed at the moment. I'm not sure if it's going to happen. Yeah, I don't know. I would consider it. I would consider going on camera. Maybe later this year though. Because also like a lot of the stuff we discuss is a little controversial and there's a lot of AI hate. Like, do you really want to be on camera? Like, I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. I was joking with I always joke with Novari like, like, oh, what do we put on the video? Let's just put like Subway Surfers, like just some kind of like slop video that makes people like clickbait, like makes them keep watching. But um you're right, it
That's
would be better
clickbaity
if we
enough
just had
already.
we're already experimenting with a lot of clickbait. We don't want to turn people off. Yeah.
Hammerhead, how did you make all your level? Did you build it by hand in Blender or something?
I have a plugin that I picked up off the Unity Asset Store called Map Magic. And it will do procedural generation using graph nodes or using like a graph, almost like a shader graph. Then what I've been doing here lately is like when I put in like a town or an outpost or something like that, I will manually clean up everything
Yeah, and
around
flatten the
it
ground so you can
as
build
best
on
I
it.
can, make it look nice. Yep.
Oh,
Or
okay. I
in
was just
the
wondering.
case of like this place, where is it? This over here there's a lot of hand sculpting to clean up things as well. So sometimes it's flattening things, sometimes it's just kind of cleaning up ridge lines to make them look better.
No, I meant the
Right.
interiors
I
actually.
do
I
a
meant
lot
that
of the hands.
temple.
Oh, that is definitely all done by hand.
Oh, okay. That's what I was wondering.
There we go. Yeah, that's one big level that I designed the kit bash for all of the interiors, and then just shut off the. Let me get the lighting volume turned off here. And can we get the unlit
Is that
shading?
underground?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool. It's like the one in Resident Evil there, the first movie, like the cocoon or whatever, the hive.
Yep. Basically, I've had this. It's a kind of like a mix between the Necrons from Warhammer 40,000 and the Terracotta Army, where an alien race has basically built an artificial moon, and as part of that, as like part of their like death ritual for one of their leaders. So like when their leaders when their emperor passes away, they build an artificial moon and house him, his cabinet, and like hundreds of millions of soldiers in the artificial moon, and as part of their passing on.
Is any of that Meshy?
No, this is all done by hand.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It looks like you spent a lot of time on
It's
that, though.
yeah, it's a very consistent style, and it's unique as well. It's not like an alien architecture style I've seen before.
Yeah, I had to. If I showed you the insanity that I went to make sure that this was going to run efficiently, you would call me crazy, because I have a giant kit bash that I use to build this stuff with, but each piece in the kit bash has been UV mapped by hand to a 4K texture atlas that I put together, or an 8K texture atlas, I don't remember. So it uses a large texture atlas that everything is UV mapped to, and then everything is kit bashed on top of that. So like if I wanted to, I can just raise this pillar up, and that's the whole thing. I don't have to worry about going in and individually managing the different pieces. If I want to change, I think it's this one here. Come on.
Just because the theme of this episode's world building, and instead of getting too technical, I kind of I'm curious. Like, do you use AI in your world building design process at all, or like for how you imagine your story and your lore or everything like that? Have you used AI?
It's something that I've been slowly creeping into, partly because the randomness doesn't always yield something that's cohesive to what I have in my head. But I have been using like Suno, for instance. I've been using Suno to compile an album that I call Gunfighter Ballads from the year 2300. And it's this idea that sometime in the future within my universe, mercenaries and outlaws who had the musical capacity or the talent to create music, they all wrote songs. And so I've been writing songs within that context. So everything's based off of like the idea that uh, these old gunfighters have retired, and now they're writing songs about their experiences out on the frontier. So that's one area where I've been experimenting with world building. I
So the
have
music kind of
some
ties
lore
into
that
the
I've
lore.
written. Yeah, and I have some lore that I've used, and I'll dig it up and post it in one of the channels. But I have a lore booklet where I wrote the lore, and then I went to generate images inspired by the lore to kind of help create a lore booklet that helps tell the timeline of things leading up to the game. So I have used AI for world building, but it's one of those things where I'm kind of tiptoeing my way into it to make sure I don't inadvertently screw things up or have to go back and retcon a bunch of stuff. Hate it when people do retcons.
Yeah, you can't really make too many mistakes there. You wanna make sure it's always right. Don't wanna waste time, don't wanna go back and regret things either.
Well,
Yep.
yeah. Also, you got to be careful what lore you really lock into place, because it might be limiting later. If you
Yep.
create a certain system of magic, then it has rules, and all your characters have to abide by those rules, or it just stops making sense. So, yeah, world building cohesively is a huge challenge.
Well, I think the
Absolutely.
temple's pretty cool. The volumetric sky looks cool too, but I'm not using it. I'm just using a skybox on a sphere.
This is actually not even Unity's volumetric sky, because their volumetric sky is kind of garbage, and their volumetric solution is kind of garbage. So I plugged into I picked up a plugin for Unity called Expanse. It's currently only available on the high definition render pipeline, though I think the guy's working on a URP version of it and an Unreal Engine 5 version of it. So it should be available in UE5 now, I think. But this guy, he wrote this whole sky and cloud and atmospheric rendering solution that lets you do things like this, for instance. That's baked into the skybox, and
Oh,
it
that's
has
cool.
light source attached to it. Like, you can change the emissiveness of it, and like, it's a really awesome piece of kit to have for someone like myself who is trying to build these large worlds that have a level of believability in them that is not typical.
All these projects are so ambitious, like they're so huge. It's both inspiring and a bit scary.
Yeah, in 3 years,
Definitely.
hey?
Someone's got to do it.
I wanna see this published. Yeah, I wanna see it live. Before we get too deep into just technical stuff about Unity, I just wanted to offer Mike another chance to screen share anything else. Was there anything else you wanted to show us about your game before we kind of move forward to the next segment?
I'm good. I had just as much
You're good?
interest watching the other people with their games.
Cool.
I really do.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah, thank you both for sharing, and thank you, Hammerhead. I guess I'll share something that I've been working on. Hang on a second. Yeah, this is I was listening to an audiobook on YouTube by H.G. Wells called The Door in the Wall, and it's like a 40-minute long short story. It's set in 1907 London, and I was like, how do I kind of make it feel like it all fits cohesively? So I used ChatGPT to generate the images. A little bit controversial, but I actually find ChatGPT better now than Nano Banana Pro for images. And the reason for that is the level of control is just higher. I find like I tell Gemini to change something in my image and it just doesn't do it or it gets it completely wrong. So um, yeah, I also use AI to create, you can kind of see it's let's see a problem here, but I used AI to create a PlayStation shader to put over everything, which is why this is clipping. It's kind of like a shader that makes the vertices move around a bit. You can kind of see it if I get close to the source. But the idea was to kind of hide some of the AI defects just with camera effects and material
Oh, this
modification.
is the other day you were showing some of the dresses. Yeah, I
I might,
remember.
yeah, I was talking with Zero, like what kind of dresses are going to fit for this world. And yeah, basically the story. I mean, it's a really nice short story. I recommend it. But basically, it's about a boy who finds a door in a wall and goes through it, and there's a beautiful garden on the other side. So the idea for this world is that you start off in this environment, which is all hazy. It's kind of dreamlike. It kind of feels like a memory. You know, all of these characters are faceless. They're just like these dark shadows. And then once you go through the door in the wall, everything's going to be vibrant and colorful. It's going to be like a beautiful hyper-saturated environment. So the kind of I guess the artistic vision behind this is to create a contrast between the two environments. But I'll show you really quickly like how this was built. This was built extremely fast. You can kind of see, here's the actual environment. All of these are just like a single Meshy model each. And you can see like you can build entire blocks of houses basically. They look a bit rough, but you can't really tell with the fog.
They look better with the PlayStation shader, don't they?
I think it's interesting. Yeah, it has an interesting look. Hang
I
on.
think it makes the flaws look like what you're trying to do. I think it just makes it looks great.
Yeah, it's kind of a unique look. Hang on, how do I? Just look at pixelation.
That's one thing too. You don't really need authentic, 1,000% looking real. If you have a style and you stick with it through the
You know,
whole
there's
game,
photorealism for a reason.
right? And there's so much
Oh yeah,
competition out there in photorealism. Why bother trying to compete with these big companies?
here we go. The shader is actually pretty powerful. So I was going to talk about the shader too. Thanks for reminding me. I tried asking ChatGPT to code me this in 10 prompts, and it still didn't get it right. Gemini got close with 3 prompts, but Claude one-shot it. So I think this is the Claude version of the shader, and it just worked basically, which was amazing. But yeah, it pretty much lets me adjust the look of each building and each object. I still haven't perfected it. Because of the stylized look, it looks. I mean, it looks deliberate, even though it's very AI. Um, yeah, I guess part of creating a cohesive world for me at the moment is just making sure everything fits the same style. This wall kind of doesn't fit. I probably need to modify that a bit. I think I was able to make this in like one evening, pretty much. This entire
Throw some
environment, the
dirt
scripts,
details on it, make it fit.
the scripts for these guys walking and spawning. This was also AI generated. It's just a simple spawner. It spawns them. Where is it?
Just have a narrow box running down the center.
They just start moving in a direction.
Okay.
I can't actually find it. But yeah, that was super easy to vibe code. And yeah, no, pretty much like I was able to build just like on a whim, build this entire scene in like one evening just after listening to this audiobook. So I
Are you
think
doing
yeah,
do you talk to Claude and then copy paste the code, or what exactly are you doing in terms of vibe coding?
yeah, I pretty much tell Claude the goal to solve or the problem to solve and then explain the context. So in this case, the version of Unity I'm using, it has to be VRChat compatible, has to be an Udon Sharp script, or sorry, Udon Sharp. So I just give it all the context, tell it what I want to do, and then just let it go wild, basically. And
Yeah, but you're not using a plugin or anything.
I'm just using the browser. I need to get a plugin for Unity. I keep meaning to do that
You do.
for AI. Yeah, because I know it would save me some time. But yeah, at the moment, I'm just because usually I can just do a single script solution for whatever I need. So I haven't had to have it be fully contextually aware of like my scene.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's definitely the next step I need to investigate. I know it is quite powerful now.
Take a look on anti-gravity. I use it.
Yeah.
Is perfectly fine with a Unity project.
I would love to. I usually do ask AI for coding advice, but since I'm on Unreal Engine and I'm still using the blueprint based, I got to work with the nodes and whatever UI in Unreal. And AI tries to guide and it tries to tell you nodes and what nodes to use and how to use it. But half the time, the node it recommends doesn't even exist anymore or it didn't exist at all, which is kind of bad. I mean, do you know what I'm talking about? Like the node base,
Yes.
know how the
Yes.
nodes?
Yeah, I have the same problem. Yes.
Yeah, so it's kind of annoying, and hopefully that doesn't become like I mean they just tell you, yeah, you could download the Unreal
Maybe you
Engine
can
source.
ask to the AI agent to generate a CPP version and expose it to your blueprints.
Yeah, but you can't do that unless you started it as you had to have compiled Unreal Engine 5 yourself and started it from the beginning like that. You can't just make a blueprint project and go back. You can't do that.
Yeah, I didn't use the nodes. Uh, uh, so you could change it
You could
to
convert it, but have
yeah.
fun with that.
It will be a little long, but yeah, could worth it if you plan to use a AI agent.
Yes, I mean, I still use the AI for advice for coding. Man, it's way better asking
Mm.
Chat GPT for help because it already read all those manuals and, hey, how do
Mm.
I do this? Oh, yeah, just set it to this 90 degrees, 90 here, X, Y, Z. Good to go. Usually you could just do it, but it would be nice if I could just copy paste it.
I haven't played with any of that because I don't use Unreal, but there are MCPs for it now, so it shouldn't be long at least until there's tools that can just build your blueprint for you instead of you having to copy paste it.
Yeah, but
It'd be nice.
I think his agent won't have a good understanding of the node based script. I think they only work they'll only work on CPP version.
Yeah. And how long will that go for? I'm just saying, how long is Unreal going to allow it to be open source for? You know what I mean? Like, how long before they start charging you for, like, maybe Unreal 6? They're going to start charging you if you want to.
The engine is open source.
Yeah, but for how
get
long?
all.
It's free for now, but for how long?
It will always be.
Maybe, yeah. I'm just saying, with AI being so easy for coding, I mean, I don't see them just letting us get away with it. That's all I think.
No, can't tell.
Unreal win money when the game sells. So I think they want
Yeah, they do get the money, yeah.
the people, and while they're doing games, they're winning. So we are winning if they keep the engine open source.
Yeah, I guess so, eh?
I'll show you guys another thing I tried. Has anyone here tried vibecodeapp.com? I have a new site.
Let me just, before you move on, say how much I like your project, and I think you did a really good
thank you.
job at making it coherent, and I love the vibe.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's fun. I love experimenting with like the VFX side of things. So for me, the models aren't really the important part. It's more about how the entire environment makes you feel, like the mood that it
Yeah.
creates. I think
It's a powerful approach, I think.
especially I have friends who build VR chat worlds, and they're like experts at this. Like you walk into their world and you just instantly feel like an emotion from it. And it's not any one part of the world that creates that. It's like it's the combination of everything. It's like the music, the fog or the scenery, like it's the lighting. So I think to me that's like where the pinnacle of art is like a combination that makes people feel some kind of strong emotion like immediately without really understanding why. So I'm always trying to get better at that. This is a new vibe coding app. I tried. I mean, usually I use Lovable, which I think I've shown off here before at the event. But this is a new one I tried, and this one uses Claude Code. It creates mobile apps, which you can then publish to the Apple Store with a single click, basically. So it's a pretty powerful workflow. You can also do image generation directly inside the app for use in your vibe coded tool, and also audio generation. I think you can. I haven't tried this yet, but it's kind of an all-in-one tool. They just released web apps, so competing with Lovable now, I guess. I've experimented with it a bit, but can't really comment too much there yet. But anyway, I decided I had this idea in my head of a game that I wanted to play, and it's pretty much an adventure game. Hang on, why isn't this loaded? It's it's like a choose your own adventure game almost, kind of reminiscent of the Oregon Trail. Has anyone played those old games? I think they were in the 90s or something. Yeah, so basically you choose you just like pretty much make decisions as you explore a desert. So it's kind of this is like based on a game I played as a kid, and I've never been able to find it again. So if anyone knows of a game like this, tell me because I'm trying to remember what it was called. But yeah, you pretty much make decisions, and each decision you make affects your resources. You can pretty much find random events. It's very simple. It's a very simple, like story-driven game where you manage resources, basically.
Oh, wow. I was going to do it with
like-
HTML in a browser.
Okay. Yeah, I don't even know how this works. I can't even remember. It might have been 3JS or something, but basically I was able to at least test a prototype of this in one day. It doesn't work perfectly. There's lots of bugs. Like I would have to spend more time fixing everything and making sure it all makes sense. But I was pretty impressed though. The AI was able to fill all of the gaps and make like fairly logical interactions for each picture. So this is kind of the thing that impressed me. I pretty much was able to generate the images and then tell it to rename each image file based on what's in the image, and then also come up with a gameplay element based on the image.
Dysentery in this one?
At the moment you just die. Like it doesn't tell you how. So I could definitely add that though.
I can still see the screen. That'd be just such a great flashback to the Oregon Trail to have that one death in there. You just died of dysentery.
It's such a classic game. So yeah, like this was kind of just a fun little concept I tried, but again, it just shows you like how quickly you can pretty much try ideas. And I don't think I'll finish this. I think once I actually played the prototype, I was like, it feels a bit old fashioned. It's not that fun, to be honest. I think if I was going to redo this, I would have it be much more story driven with like
You
actual
had more
writing.
fun making it.
Yeah, yeah, I had fun like getting the AI to create my idea. But once I actually played the game, it was kind of it was like,
No, I
okay,
hear
play
that
this
one
for
right
2
there.
minutes. Yeah, but I just thought I'd show you guys because I do recommend this tool. It's called vibecodeapp.com. The reason it's better than Lovable right now is it uses Claude code, basically, short story. And Claude for me at the moment has been the best for vibe coding. So, yeah, check it out if you get time. Cool. Yeah. Any questions about that?
No, I'm making a
That was
game like
pretty
in
interesting, actually.
HTML too.
Awesome.
Mobile
We can move
mobile mo mobile game
Sorry.
is mobile game. Mobile games is not making real games.
Yeah.
No.
Really, but I have to
Now that
There's a
agree.
lot of skill on.
Well, yeah, I don't play mobile games. Like to me, it's so much worse than just playing a PC game. But like, if you look at the stats, most people on Earth have phones now. They don't have PCs. The market for mobile games is enormous, and it's a rapidly growing market still. And so people can make like I see YouTube videos of people who make vibe coded games on mobile, and they're making good money with it. Like it's pretty impressive. But at the same time, I think apps like this are going to mean there's going to be a lot more kind of slop games coming out.
Definitely, yeah.
But yeah, I think like it's interesting. It's still interesting to look at, and they did release the web app version. I'll show you guys real quickly. I won't show this too long, but I wanted to try and make an app that would audio edit my Suno tracks to fix all the defects in them. And it ended up being a very interesting experiment. I think it's for some tracks it definitely improved them. For others, it just kind of added more defects, which was kind of funny to me. Because when you ask the AI, like, it will very confidently tell you, like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna fix this," and then it makes a change, but it doesn't sound any different. So it's like, okay, it didn't actually do anything. But a lot of this is just back and forth iteration and trying to use my own sense of taste to see if it's working or not. But it pretty much lets you edit the stems from Suno. Um, yeah,
That is
I won't go
definitely
into
on my
too much
list.
detail. Well, I'm hoping they just release Suno 6 and that fixes it, to be honest. That's why I'm not spending much time on this. Okay. Let's go into the AI news
I just
segment.
wanted to say,
We're kind of sorry?
like I had mentioned earlier, where I used to get together with a bunch of devs and we just shoot around, shoot ideas.
Hmm.
Basically, what we've been doing today is how we used to get together, and I got to say, I miss
That's
it.
awesome, right?
Just
I
talking
love
to
it.
other people who are doing the same thing.
We're
I
all
just miss.
experimenting and we all have our own skill sets and we're all trying all these new tools. It's a very exciting time.
Right, exactly.
I'm gonna rush through the news segment. We're kind of running out of time. So let's start with the Meshy news. Custom post generation came out. Have you guys tried this yet?
I haven't. No.
I'll show you guys the video real quick. Basically, it lets you pose your character using a reference image. So if you find any reference image of any pose you want online, you can then combine it with your character model and then generate a new version in that pose. So it's probably more of a 3D printing feature, but I think there are probably gameplay use cases you could also come up with for this. If you need statues for your game, for example, that are posed, that's one idea I had. But yeah, it's a pretty unique feature. I don't think any of Meshy's competitors have anything like this, and definitely give it a try. Other feature that came out, long-awaited Meshy 6 multi-view. This is one that you guys probably see people in the chat asking for this like every day. It's finally out, and it pretty much just lets you upload multiple images to generate your character from, so that you can get consistent details around the character to look
Where I've been
great,
getting
things like
the
weapons
last
or
few characters I did it.
what's that?
I said the last few characters, I got really clear images of characters,
Hmm.
or the models that came out were very clear using that.
Nice. But yeah, those are the two main big Meshy updates to check out if you haven't already. Awesome. Next story.
In the low poly
Pope
mode.
Leo warns of. Oh, low poly mode. Oh, we did talk about that last time though. Yeah, that's
Oh,
been out for
really?
a few weeks.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Pope Leo warns of overly affectionate AI chatbots. So the Pope has weighed in on AI. He is warning us that, I guess, not to form serious emotional bonds with AI companions. Kind of interesting. I guess I wouldn't have thought of the Pope as like somebody very tech literate, but I guess I don't know. Everyone's got an opinion. We have here a study came out. Artificial intelligence can now beat average humans in creativity. This study is a little bit weird. I mean, the way they measure creativity is very subjective, of course. So I don't know if you can draw too many strong conclusions. But basically, now, yeah, AI is becoming creative. Apparently, according to this.
Can you link that one?
Sure. Yeah.
Or do we have maybe we have it in the?
I'm a little skeptic.
Yeah, be skeptical of this. I mean, how do you measure creativity? Really, it's not something with a very clear metric. So, it is a little bit. I think, yeah, with a grain of salt. This
Yeah, that's
article.
actually just the point I'm interested in. Like, how did they measure creativity?
I think it was to do with language and word use.
Yeah, I'll take a look
I
at
didn't
myself.
actually.
Didn't want to derail.
Yeah, I didn't read too deeply into this. You might want to take a look yourself.
Yeah.
We also have Razer's CEO saying that gamers support AI tools in game development. So the Razer CEO has kind of pushed back. He's kind of. I feel like we're in the bargaining phase now of the 7 stages of grief, and so it's kind of funny. These CEOs, they keep coming out and saying something like, "Oh, look, we're not going to use AI content. We're not going to. Don't worry, guys. We're not going to put AI slop in our games." But then on the other hand, he's saying, "Well, we're still going to use AI for productivity. Like we're still a business. We're still going to, we're still going to use AI to speed up production." And I think this is kind of where the industry is kind of leaning lately. Hang on, I had a quote. What's the quote? Yeah, so he said he clarified that players don't want generative AI slop in games, but do want AI to speed up development. And apparently, Razer is using it for quality assurance and to help them fix bugs. There was a stat in here. He stated that quality assurance can account for 30 to 40% of development costs, and they think they can use AI for it to cut that down heavily. So, kind of interesting to see. This one here is big news for anyone
Wait.
releasing a
Where
game
did
on
he
Steam with AI.
get the idea?
Sorry?
Where did he get the idea? Like, how does he know what players think? Maybe I missed that part.
I mean, I think it's just his opinion. I think, yeah,
Yes. Okay.
he's just sharing his opinion. Yeah, I don't think there's any specific explanation. Oh, it's because he announced a huge $600 million AI initiative to hire 150 AI engineers. Patel put it to Tan that players appear to be in open revolt against AI games. It must be in this video. Maybe I'll post the link. You guys can check it out later.
Yeah.
So this one here is big for any game devs who use AI who want to release on Steam. Valve has quietly updated their developers guidelines, no longer requiring the disclosure of AI-powered tools used for development efficiency, such as coding assistants. So I think you can vibe code now and not have to mention it in your Steam page, which is really interesting.
Actually, it
That's a
only
really good
counted.
idea.
That was only for that only mattered if your thing was like linked to ChatGPT. It didn't matter if you used AI to make your assets. They only require you to state that you use AI if it's built into it and it's connected to, Viber, GPT, or OpenAI like directly, and then your game is actually giving, generated response from the server and not pre-made. But if you pre-made it, that's fine. But if it's being generated in real time, that's not fine.
Yeah, I think that's the new position because I think their old position was that if you used AI in the development, you were
Not
meant to
not about
disclose.
not about the assets. The line is the same.
They don't care about
As
that.
long
No.
It's only for tools and code, so it won't change.
I
Like,
think it's
for
just
me,
for
it
those
makes the
people who
switch.
think procedural is the next thing. Oh, sorry. Go on, Tara.
There's just this question of, okay, I'm ready to like accept that players maybe don't want it, so I'm not going to put any art assets into my game, but still I use it for coding. I think this is from what I get from that article is the distinction
Yeah.
there. And
Yeah,
I think that
exactly.
makes a lot of sense. Whichever your stance is, I think there's a big difference between what he's saying, using it for productivity versus using it for the actual game content that the players will see or hear.
Yeah, so to me, like, I think the industry is moving towards a more accepting approach to AI, or at least starting to differentiate between the different kinds of AI rather than this like one size fits all kind of like, oh, AI bad, which is good. I think this is kind of this like gives me hope a bit for AI game development.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, Larian Studios says again, this I don't know why they keep trying to appease like Reddit, but this game studio are going to keep using Gen AI, but again, they're kind of in that negotiating like bargaining stage where they're going to use it for some things but not other things. Um,
I sent a video to
but
you,
yeah,
actually, that you might enjoy. It actually talks the panels group of game developers and people in the gaming industry, and they talk about this AI argument now when AI has literally been in video games for the last 40 years
Yeah,
in
they've been
different forms.
lying
yeah,
totally.
it's a different kind of AI, or at least it's an AI that people didn't care about or notice or understand. But I think now that everyone has a chatbot, they're like, oh, they think about it a lot more. But you're right, AI has been around for much longer than ChatGPT. Like
Yeah,
people don't
exactly.
realize. We have here a new real-time AI voice generator called InWorld TTS 1.5. Uh, I did listen to some of it. It sounds pretty impressive. Um, it can deliver ultra-fast, high-quality speech in 15 languages with latency under 250 milliseconds. So this is some cool new tech that's coming out. Might be worth checking out. Um, Ubisoft is doubling down on player-facing generative AI. Yeah, they're planning to put AI content directly in front of players in a
You
big
know
way.
what? We
So
don't care. You'll buy it.
yeah, and people will actually. So
I
yeah,
will.
again, like the industry is kind of moving towards, well, look, AI is here. We're just going to use it, and you're going to see it. And if you don't like it, well, too bad. So interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of pushback. The cultural conflict rages about AI, but things are continuing to change. That's it. That's it for
Maybe
AI news. Did anyone else have any other AI news? Any
I
other
got one.
interesting
I got
stories that you
one.
saw?
No, I
It's
would have I
interesting.
would show you a bit of my stuff.
Yeah, I'll be real
We're
quick.
probably not going to have time. Yeah.
Suno released a new feature which is making sound effects, and that's the news. I think that might be
Oh,
interesting to some
really?
of us. Mhm.
When did
And
did
That
they
is
release?
interesting.
just Suno Discord
Huh.
will tell you when exactly. Just a sec. Their announcement is from 23rd, so 2 days ago.
Oh,
Okay. Is it for paid users only or
Um,
not free,
Hard to
right?
say. It does cost credits. I don't know how their free tier is working currently.
I'm gonna finish what I'm
Interesting.
chewing on right now before I try anything new, though.
Yeah, that's the problem with all these AI tool updates. It's like each one is like, ooh, I want to do a new project. Ooh.
Yeah, especially with Meshy because it was only like a year or two ago when we were on Meshy 4 and we're on Meshy 6 now. And have you ever
Yep.
compared the models?
Come a long way, and people don't realize, or people kind of complain about all these minor details in Meshy 6, and it's like, my guy, you would hate Meshy 3. But yeah. Yeah, sound effects, I think AI for audio and games is really leaping forward lately. There's so many new tools coming out, and it's not just to live in labs now. It's so many other things worth trying. That is kind of it today. Thank you everyone for coming and showing your games and joining us in conversation. I'm going to be away next week, so I'll be counting on Novaray and hopefully Tara to host next episode.
You mean
I'll be away
in 2
like
weeks?
for the next 2 weeks. Yeah, sorry, the next 2 weeks. I'll probably be away for the next two actually. So yeah, it'll be probably a Novaray and Tara. If you want, you can host with Novaray. I didn't actually ask you that, but that would be cool if you can. And otherwise, if you're still listening on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. And hopefully, we'll get more time next episode for everyone to show off their games. So sorry to the people who didn't get a chance this session.
Awesome, guys.
So
Great time.
feel free to play us out. Thank you very much, everybody. Feel free to play us out, Tara.